Got smoked. Is it a bluegill? Is it a bass? Is it a crappie? Hey everybody, welcome back to Greater Pursuit. It's Wilson here, and in this video you can see we're on the pond. We're doing another fishing video, and not just any fishing video. We are doing a pond trifecta, or as some like to call it, a pond grand slam. So what that means is we're going to be trying to catch one crappie, one brim, and one bass, all today, catch, clean, and cook style. We're going to start off trying to catch crappie. Since it's probably going to be the most difficult thing for us to get, I'm going to give y'all a rundown on the gear as we go through each one to let y'all know what I'm using to catch each particular species. And so yeah, it's going to be a blast. Hope y'all stay tuned. It's going to be fun. Alright, so to catch these crappie, what I'm using is a slip cork technique. I have a stopper up here that I can adjust for depth, and that's going to stop. This cork is going to slide all the way down to where I stop that stopper. And below the bobber here, I have the classic crappie bait, a jig, white jig head with a curly tailed jig. Hopefully that'll get it done. We're about to fish a spot that has a rocky bottom. It's a gravel bed. Crappie have known to hang out here, so we're gonna see if we can get on one first thing this morning. If this doesn't work, we'll move to something else, but right now we're gonna try this. All right, so we've got this stopper here, I don't know, about 2.5 feet above the jig. And so what should happen is this bobber should slide 2.5 feet up, leaving us 2.5 feet right here. You can see what I'm fishing here. There's a dock here, but right out in front in this area here is a gravel bed that I'm hoping that a crappie will be on this morning. So we're gonna go find out real quick. Alright, so apparently that jig does not weigh enough on its own, so what I'm gonna have to do is go put a split shot on here real quick to get it down to depth. Ah, here they are. Just a little split shot. We're gonna have to add some weight to this bad boy, so split shot it is. I'm gonna do it a little bit higher here. So for those of y'all who don't know how to do a split shot, it's really easy. You just open it up a little bit, put that line in there like so, and come on the other end and clamp it really tight, locking it in place. All right, there we go. Got hit. You see that? I got hit. Now crappie, they like it really slow for some reason. I wish they didn't, but they tend to like it slow. I had one. It was a fish. I don't know if it was a brim or what. Alright. So it doesn't seem that they want the jig, or they may just not be right here, but I was getting some nibbles. And so what I'm gonna switch to here is a little beetle spin. It's a classic brim bait. We should get bit pretty quick if there's a brim here. So, and all this is gonna do is just pull it along, and that little blade right there, right here, is just gonna spin, and they should whack this. if I can get it over there. Oh, there's one. That's a bigger fish. What is that? What is that? Oh yeah, that's a good brim. Golly, that's a good brim. Look at that. Get in the bank. Golly. That's what was nibbling at that jig. Oh my gosh. Look at that dude right there. Yes, sir, that will eat. That is awesome. Dude, oh my gosh. That is a freaking beast right there. Just look at the colors on that dude. Wow. That is awesome. Look at that guy. That is insane. And y'all have to let me know what type of brim that is, because that's not a bluegill. So I'm not exactly sure what type of brim that is. So let me know down in the comments what that is. That would be very helpful. So I knew that there was a rock bed right out in there, a gravel bed, and I was getting little bitty tugs, little bitty pulls here on this jig, this crappie jig here. So I was like, okay, it's obviously a bluegill, right? It's some type of brim. I still don't know what that is. So I just threw with this beetle spin here, and whenever I was finally able to get over that spot, he absolutely stopped it, and that was an absolutely stud of a brim. So now we're gonna move on. I think I'm gonna go with the bass next, just because it should be easiest. I think the crappie are gonna be pretty difficult today. So we're gonna go on to the bass next. Look at the beautiful view over the lake, glass waters. If we weren't doing this Grand Slam, the bass, the crappie, and the brim, I would love to throw a topwater right now, but we're trying to get this, catching all three of these species is not necessarily just going to be the easiest thing in the world, you know. So okay, so my bait of choice for bass is just going to be a classic Texas rig June bug lizard. It is summertime, so the fish are a little difficult, but they shouldn't be. If there's a bait that's going to catch bass, it's going to be this one right here. So hopefully we'll get a nice one we'll be able to keep. We're going to get after it. This presentation here is nice and weedless. You tuck that hook into the lizard itself, and that keeps it from getting hung on anything. If you wanted to be really fancy, you'd have a little weight stopper here that would hold this weight in place, but I'm not that fancy, so. All perfect. We've got fish food coming out. Look at that. It's a lot of carp, I think. Yeah, some carp. Look at those carp. Anyway, let's see what we can do up here. There's a bass. I keep missing them. Come on. What was that? Oh, I just got thumped. Oh, that's a good bass. That's a good bass. That's a good one. Get in the boat, baby. Let's go. Yes, sir. That is awesome. Look at that right there. He's too big to keep, but look at the stripes on that dude. He's got that spot there. That is an awesome fish. A little too big to keep. I would feel horrible keeping him. That's a nice 2.5 pounder there. So we're gonna let him go, but man, what an absolute stud. That is so awesome. Get gone, bud. Let's go. I love a nice slot keeper size, but he will do. I'll catch that. I'll catch bass like that all day. All right, let's see if we can't get one on the other side of this dock here. Typically they like to be around that bulkhead, and so, or retaining wall, or whatever you want to call it. And so if you can get it right on that wall or right on this dock here, it should be money. Oh my God. Took my bait. Alright. Finally. Oh, that's a pretty decent fish. No, it's not. Okay, that's a perfect size one. Just gotta get him in the boat. Ah, yes. Yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir. Would you quit flopping? Okay, well, you see him. He wants to be insane today, but let's see if I can. Okay, we're just gonna flop around. These fish are lively. Like, dang, brother. All right, there's our bass. Now it's on to the hard one, the crappie, but there's our bass specimen. Okay guys, so now we are back on the crappie. I'm gonna do something a little different though. I'm not gonna use that slip bob cork and jig. I'm gonna use this little underspin here, and I've caught them this way as well a lot out here. And it's, if they're not sitting right on top of something like they are, like if you're using that jig and slip bob cork, this is a good way to find them when you're not exactly sure just right where they are. So that's what we're going to use today. We've caught the brim, we've caught the bass, now we just need the crappie. So let's get after it. Got smoked. Is it a bluegill? Is it a bass? Is it a crappie? It is a bluegill. Another nice one. Good grief. Now that is a massive fish. See if I can get my hands around him. Golly. That is a big bluegill. I'm gonna keep him too, mine as well, right? Golly. That's a stud. Is this a crappie? It is a crappie. Yes. Oh. Right on the surface too. Man, he choked it. I mean, okay, that's enough of that. Wow, he choked it. That's what I'm talking about, man. I was leaving, so I turned the camera off, and I was just like, one last cast just out in the deep there. And he hit it as soon as it touched the water, like, whoom. So, that's what I'm talking about, man. We've got our trifecta, baby. That's a good one. That is a big crappie. It's a big fish, whatever it is. Golly, that is a big crappie. Oh no, that was a bass. That was a bass. That was a nice bass. Okay, so we actually ended up catching all three of our species relatively quickly, actually. I was pleasantly surprised. The crappie was a little difficult, but we were able to get it done. So I'm gonna check these guys out real quick. So we got our two bluegill there, 1 and 2. And then you got that big crappie and that bass right there. All those are perfect. And it kind of makes sense too to have the two brim because they're smaller. That way we will be able to accurately compare the meat. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna fillet all 4 of those fish, and I'm going to do a taste test. And I'm not gonna fry them, I'm not gonna do anything special. I'm just gonna put them in a pan with some butter and some seasoning. This is gonna be a raw test taste to see which one is the best. I'm expecting the crappie to be the best, but you never know. The brim could surprise me. Those are big enough to fillet, so a little brim fillet, watch out. The bass is pretty good, so we'll have to wait and see. I'm gonna go back to the dock and then get these fish cleaned up. I'll bring y'all along the way. Well, unfortunately, we're not gonna be able to do the cook and clean part of this video because this bad boy right here, our skinning knife, our fillet knife, broke. If you can see here, that little pin is stuck and it won't come out no matter how hard I try, which is super annoying. I found a skinning knife for a deer, but it's not, it is not for filleting. I mean, it was miserable and it did not do right. So with that being said, I hope that you really enjoyed at least me catching the Grand Slam here out on the pond today. I hate that we're not going to be able to make a catch and clean video with those fish, but technical difficulties, I'm sorry, I know. But anyway, I had a blast. It's really cool to be able to see the different types of fish you can catch in a pond and the different techniques used to do so. We used the Texas rig with the June bug lizard to catch the bass, a little beetle spin to catch those brown, and then we used that little underspin jig head with a little paddle tail minnow jig imitation to catch that crappie. So hope you enjoyed. Please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what type of brim those are, because I don't think they're bluegill. So with that being said, we hope that you continue to chase creation and the creator. Never settle, keep pursuing.